Hey kids, I hope that you are having a good day and a good week. I hope you're having fun being at home, away from school, and I hope that your parents are having an okay time too with you being home from school. Today I wanted to talk about the body. You think about your body parts, okay? Like your hands, or your eyes, or your nose. Really important, right? Your head is super important. You can't live without your head. Okay, these are all important parts of the body that we probably think about every single day. All right, every time you look at your face, you see your eyes, your nose, your mouth. Every time you eat, you're using your hands and you're putting stuff in your mouth. All right, the Bible writes about this, okay, and the Apostle Paul has some words for us. So let's take a look at a Bible passage here. Okay, this comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 14 through 17. Paul writes, "Yes, the body has many different parts, not just one part. If the foot says, 'I am not a part of the body because I am not a hand,' that does not make it any less a part of the body. And if the ear says, 'Well, I am not a part of the body because I am not an eye,' would that make it any less a part of the body? If the whole body were an eye, well, how would you hear? Or if your whole body were an ear, how would you smell anything?" Okay, so here Paul is saying that we have lots of body parts, and even though some of them may be less significant or they might seem less important than others, you need every single part of your body to have a healthy body. Okay, you might think that, oh yeah, your eye is so important because it helps you to see. Well, what if your whole body was an eye? How would you hear? How would you smell? Okay, if the whole body were a foot, how would you grab stuff? How would you, I don't know, how would you look at stuff? Okay, so we need to have all of our body parts, and they all need to be working well. And Paul actually says the church is like a body, and all of us are parts of that body. Now, I've got here some body parts that maybe you hadn't thought about. Okay, first up, what do you think this is? All right, well, this is not the exact body part. This is a sort of stuffed animal version of it that I got a while ago. But this is a representation of what we call a neuron or a nerve cell. Okay? These live inside of your head, believe it or not. They live in your brain, and they make up a large portion of your brain. Now, these are really, really small. They're not anywhere close to being this big. You can't even see them, they're so small. But they're kind of shaped like this. They're kind of long, and they have a big part here that kind of looks like a head. They don't actually have little googly eyes. All right, but then they have these little stringy parts up here. This one it looks kind of like hair. Okay, but these are really, really important because what they do is they make up, again, these are the building blocks of your brain, and they carry information from one part of your brain to another. All right, they're all lined up. I've actually got several of these. Let's put some of these together. They'd be all lined up like this. Okay, and the information might start up here, and it goes down like this, and then it comes down, and these little hair-like things are there, and then the information gets transferred from one cell to another cell. And that's how you think, that's how you move, that's how you do everything that makes you you happens because of these neurons. Okay, so these are really important even though they're really tiny, and even though you probably don't really think about them all that much. Okay, but even though you don't think about them, they are what make you think. Scientists think there are about 86 billion of these inside of your brain. So again, yes, they're very, very small. You cannot see them, but they are super important. Okay. So that is an illustration of one body part that is really small, so tiny that you can't even see it, but it's super important for your body. Now let's go and pretend that we are going to get super small. And now look, it's like we are inside of your blood vessels. Okay, I'm going to hold my hand up here. You can see the blood vessels there in my hand. Now this is like we are inside of one of those, and you can see there are some blood cells there. But then let's see, there would also be some of these. What on earth is this thing? Okay, this is what we call a platelet. And these are floating along in your blood, just like these red blood cells. And the platelets are really important because they are what help stop bleeding. If you got cut, anytime you get a cut and you start to bleed, a whole bunch of these will rush to the area of that cut where the blood is coming out, and they jam up inside of that cut. Okay, and you see this one here has all of these little things sticking out, and these platelets, they all grab onto each other, and they get really sticky, and they start to form like a net. And you know how if you get cut, and the blood starts coming out of the cut, but then pretty soon the blood starts to get thick, and it starts to get hard, and then it stops bleeding. Unless it's a really bad cut, then you have to go to the doctor or you have to go to the hospital or something. Okay, but if it's just a small cut and it's not too bad, these things will go to where the cut is and they will stop you from bleeding. Okay? Very important, because what happens if you bleed too much? Yeah, that's really not good. Okay, so you need these, but again, they're so small you don't even see them. All right, and yeah, really important for making sure that your body is working right. Now again, still in the bloodstream here, inside of the blood vessels. Ooh, we have one of these. Look at this. Look at what's coming. This is very special. This is what we call a white blood cell. Okay, like here, the white blood cell. Okay, and these kind of float along inside of the blood, and these are very special because they are like your body's defenses. They're like soldiers inside of your bloodstream, and if there is a germ that gets inside of your body, well, there'll be like a whole bunch of germs that get inside of your body, but these things will hunt them down. They hunt down the germs and they destroy them. Okay, so yeah, these are like soldiers. They're like warriors who are going to protect you. Okay? And they're floating along in your blood, and anytime any bad germs come into your bloodstream, these things will hunt them down and they eat them. They eat them up. Okay, so yay, we need these. We need to cheer them on, and we need to do things that keep these healthy and strong, because these are the things that protect you. Okay? And every time you get sick, all right, these things are fighting off that infection. They're fighting off those germs, and they're fighting to keep you safe. Okay? You do not see these, again. They're just kind of floating along in your blood. But again, very, very important for keeping us healthy, making sure our bodies work in the right way. All right, so what is the lesson that we can learn from this? Again, okay, our bodies have lots of different parts, and some of them you can see, some of them are really important, and you know about, you think about them every single day. But others of them, you can't even see, right? And we don't even think about them, but they're doing their jobs, protecting us, helping us stay healthy and strong. Now, Paul says that the church is like this, and we are all parts of that body. Now, you might think, like, I am just a kid, right? I'm really small, I can't really do anything to help the church. Well, that's where you would be wrong. Okay? I'm really small. I can't help the church. I can't help the body. Well, this little platelet is super small. You can't even see it. But you need these to be healthy. And if you get a cut, then these are really super important. Okay? In the same way, we need all of you to have a good church. For the church to be healthy, we need all of our body parts all working together. No matter how big or how small they are, every part is important, and every part was put there by Jesus. All right, so kids, today, when you think about the church and when you think about what you can do for Jesus, don't ever think that you're too small and that you can't do anything for Jesus, because Jesus has a plan for you, and Jesus put you exactly where you are, and he knows what you can do to help the church and to help his body, because the church is the body of Christ on earth. All right, so think about how you can help Jesus. Think about how you can help the church, because all of us are important.